Okay, so we're back with Emeric. Emeric and I decided because there's so much to discuss with peptides and growth factors that we're going to make a series of videos and we're going to keep them to 20, 30 minutes each. Do one every couple weeks and post it. It'll be on YouTube and Facebook and the groups. Um, Today we want to discuss the difference between natural or occurring and synthetic peptides and talk about the fact that Humanofort contains a full spectrum, gives you everything you need, not just the synthetic peptide. Your body will not build up issues with it and it won't throw things out of whack. And with synthetic peptides, you're paying a lot for just one peptide in particular, where with Humanofort, you get all the peptides and the ability to create stem cells. It even works on telomeres and all sorts of stuff. So we'll get into some stuff today. What did you want to start with, Emeric?
Okay, so let's start with the future, which I mentioned in 1993 when I was the first ever introduced natural peptides growth factors, which are
Yes.
growth factors protein molecules. And back then, uh, just handful of scientists they were doing research
Yeah.
on this, and they discovered that basically these peptides, these growth factors, are the most important for health and longevity. So back then, when I was talking about the Humanofort, and I tried to explain it's good for different things, and they called me snake oil salesman because he said, you know, it's not such a thing, but they didn't understand. So
Yeah.
now they start to understand, and the peptides is the future, of course, but the difference between synthetic peptides and natural peptides, natural growth factors, peptides are body's own signaling protein that regulates cell growth, tissue, and repair, while the synthetic peptides are designed to mimic their natural counterparts. Naturals offers a much more broad of range and benefits.
Yeah.
So synthetic one, you create one, let's say for you joints, one for your vascular system, versus the
Mhm.
Humanofort gives you the whole package.
Yeah.
And on top of that, because it's a natural, which are naturally occurring in our body, you then have the chance that it may be rejected because the
Mhm.
synthetic peptides has to be if they mimic and they try to create synthetic growth factors peptides, they have
Yeah.
to be sure that all the molecules, the amino acid molecules, as identical what's the natural. Otherwise, your body can reject and have side effects. Now,
Yeah.
on the top of that, what also the Humanofort brings together versus the synthetic ones that also has host defense peptides, which
Mhm.
are the cationic peptide and also the acting protein inhibitors. So these are self-defense peptides for your body defense virus and bacteria. You know,
Mhm.
and also has activin inhibin, which are very important for the male and female reproduction system, in a male testicular function, sperm counts, mobility, in
And
the females
that's
for ovulation.
that's one thing
So
that
this,
I I cut you off quick is we don't openly advertise a lot of the stuff that it does like in a big advertisement because just like what happened with what was that Tribistan, it worked better than Clomid, so the FDA kicked it and they want to
yeah,
sell their Clomid.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
But now,
Activin works better than any um, fertility clinic can do for you.
yeah.
There's
So,
people that have
so
been to
when,
fertility clinics, they take Humanofort and a couple months later they're pregnant
yeah. So
because it
Now, the tribistan was really good for, libido and also fertility, and
Mhm.
was that best on the market till the Humanofort showed up. Because
Yeah,
now the Humanofort has those peptides, growth factors. You males would not have testicles,
yeah.
so
That's
cloning.
why all the guys that we put on our TRT protocol and they take Humanofort, their testicles grow back.
Yeah,
Guys
yeah,
that have been on improper TRT and they've taken too high a doses, their bodies counteracted it and shut their system down. Their
yeah,
testicles shrink. They start taking Humanofort and their
yeah. And
testicles grow back.
also want to mention something. Like I mentioned many times, these growth factors, they act as a ligand to the receptors.
Yes.
Now, synthetic peptides can do that also, but you have to put together many growth factors
Yeah.
because growth factors also so far was discovered 23 fibrous growth factors. More will be discovered in the future because
Yeah.
it's a very uh, just checking in how embryo developed. Just imagine that's the first step of life creation. So all
Yeah.
these growth factors wouldn't exist. Now you wouldn't not able to create a life just with one peptide, two peptides. Everything has to come what's naturally uh, 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 our body it's created by.
Yeah.
You know, so now just imagine. Uh, like I mentioned, act as the ligand to receptors. So by taking the Humanofort, you get many advantage. Either you
Yeah.
taking uh, hormones, vitamins, minerals. Without this growth factor, I wouldn't be able to talk. I wouldn't be able to smell. I wouldn't to see. So anything from top of our head down to our toe,
Uh-huh.
without this growth factor, would not function.
And that's what I'm going to explain quick. A lot of people don't understand the terminology of ligand. A ligand, it makes any all the recept Humanofort acts as a ligand to all the receptors in the body. So what a ligand does is switches. Imagine if a light was on a dimmer switch, and your receptors eventually start to get dimmer, and a hormone or a chemical binds to that receptor that's meant to, it doesn't send as strong of a signal as it's supposed to. The growth factors in Humanofort act as a ligand. They turn those receptors all the way up. That's why your blood sugars go down, because your insulin receptors are turned all the way up. You get more out of your own hormones because all your hormone receptors are turned up. Your brain chemistry works better because you're getting more out of your serotonin and dopamine and things like that. It's subtle, but it's consistent, and you slowly start getting responding better to everything, like literally everything, vitamins, minerals, you name it. And over time, your even your cells and everything, or the whole body's running at a more youthful level. And Humanofort's the only product that's naturally occurring, and it has the patented, it is made in the only patented scientific way that there is for making these peptides and growth
Yeah,
factors.
yeah.
If I
So because
worded
I
that
have
correctly.
many questions, and I want to answer those people. They kind of confused because now everybody talks about peptides.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually this happened. So at one point, uh, everybody was talking about tribulus after tribistan, and they were putting
Mm-hmm.
market. Then after that, they were talking about fulvic acid. So I
Mm-hmm.
see even uh, Phil Heath looks like it's coming out with a fulvic acid as silagit, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they're coming up something originally, I'm not trying to make myself then, I'm inventor, I'm not inventor, but I did introduce to the US market the Tribistan, the fulvic humic acid in the fitness industry, and of course the Humanofort is the king of the all supplements. Now,
Yeah.
for those people question, do I have to take synthetic peptides if I take the Humanofort? No. Can I take Humanofort and synthetic peptides? Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
But because these are
you
synthetic peptides,
you'll
they
get more
still,
out of the synthetic peptides if you're
but
taking
also
Humanofort.
is still ongoing research because as says synthetic. So when you
Yeah,
introduce to your body synthetic stuff, you need to find out for how long you can use it. You have an adverse side effect because natural growth factor of Humanofort has an exocytosis activity. That's mean, let's see, you take the Humanofort and your body needs, let's see, the body needs a connective growth factor, need epidermal growth factor, need IGF-1 or IGF-2, which IGF-2 doesn't exist in anything, just in Humanofort. Our body makes up IGF-2 and you have it available during embryo development. So let's see, you levels on one of this is low, but the rest growth factor 6 or 2, it's in good range. So what does your body recognize? Of course, I forgot to mention the Humanofort also has a messaging RNAs also. It's not uh, uh, available, it's just a natural source from embryo development. So
mhm,
your body would recognize I need epidermal growth factor, I need connection growth factor, but I don't need the rest. So your body holds as much as need for the repair, and the rest is eliminated. That way, it's no side effect. You can have a whole bottle of Humanofort, you have no
yeah,
side effect.
yeah,
So that's good about the Humanofort. Now with the synthetic, more you take may have a side effect. However, I have some people uh, calling and reporting me back taking synthetic peptides and they're taking a quarter of Humanofort and they can't believe the benefits
yeah.
of the synthetic peptide without worrying about side effects. So yes, for those people, you can take both together, or if you choose, I use only one of them. Of course, the Humanofort will give you the over a more spectrum of all the
Yeah.
growth factors necessary to repair versus just individually for each different situation.
Like myself, the only synthetic peptide I use is the melanotan. I haven't used it for a while, but otherwise, once I discovered Humanofort, my blood work was perfect within 6 weeks. My skin started looking younger. I recovered faster. I had a colleague, friend, but customer who has got a lot of people on it. And many people are reporting they ran out of Humanofort and they are training every day in the gym. And as long as they're taking the Humanofort and eating right, they can just keep training every day. And then all of a sudden they run out of Humanofort, and 3, 4 days later they're sore and they could feel like they don't want to work out today. It's because they're not regenerating like they were when they're on the Humanofort. The Humanofort helps the whole body regenerate faster. You heal quicker, just like the scar from my heart surgery. If anybody can see the scar, that healed in just a few weeks, and you can hardly see it. And after some tanning and time, you won't be able to even see it. And most people, they still got, scabs and everything else. And I know it's from the Humanofort. The doctors can't believe how my scar is gone. Like it's all healed. And
Also, I want to mention the results because the results could be different on each person to person. For example, older you are, more you feel the benefits
yeah,
because as we age, this growth factors start diminishing. Also, depend how severe whatever you have to be repaired. Like,
yeah,
for example, somebody young, 18, 90s old, it works out hard. It takes the minute for I don't know anything because they try to feel effect like a stimulant. It's not a stimulant.
no,
It supplies you, it
it's
supplies
natural.
you cellular level energy.
Yeah,
But so far, even youngsters, after they stop taking the Humanofort, what they notice the recovery between workouts are not as quick because
that's
uh,
a friend of mine. His son's in football, and gives them a Humanofort every morning, every night. The kid's, I think, 16 or 17 now, and they'll go play a game, and the whole team sore the next day and doesn't, whatever. And this boy is ready to go. He's working out, and he noticed that right away with his son. And maybe we can invite the two of them on a meeting in the future. But I'll let you keep going
Yeah,
with your
uh,
stuff.
yeah. I have this morning I get a text message from an IFBB pro. I'm not going to mention his name without his approval, but I will see if it would be we like to have a podcast. So he said, um, I just got back my lab results, 8 weeks on Humanofort. Pretty impressive. Comparison considering the significant reduction of testosterone elimination and other anabolics and androgens. My IGF is the highest it's ever been. I will put together side by side to compare and send it to you. So he sent it to me. So he said uh, his IGF, 260% increase in IGF. Top number were from the highest of contest season, taking 6 IU/GH daily and 1,050 milligrams of testosterone per week, compared to bottom numbers on the same amount ACG and only 170 milligram test per week in microdosing 25 milligram. So send me all these results, unbelievable. And he's an IFBB
Right.
pro guy. I'm not going to mention his name to he
Yeah.
agreed to that, but he's not the only one. Okay, so I have
Yeah.
another bodybuilder at the gym I work out. He tries to get his pro card. He
Mhm.
finished in the top 5 at the USC a few months ago,
Mhm.
and he's been start using it, and they are reporting the recovery. Now, regarding the TRT, which looks like even some doctors they start to preach microdosing daily because now the word goes out and your body doesn't make once a week 200 milligram test and that's
Yeah.
it. Your body makes daily, so you have to mimic daily. Now, for those blasting on a pro card or professional, I'm not getting what you blast or how much you blast, but I highly suggest and promote you. You must do 8 weeks after each blast. You must do 8 weeks in a small daily dose with Humanofort to restore your hypothalamus function and neurocortex, and plus to restore the levels active in
Well,
and inhibit
Emeric,
testicles.
it sounded like you just said a microdose of Humanofort. What Emeric means is, and I've done many videos on this, and you can report back to my videos. At 10 milligrams a day of testosterone, if it's cypionate, your body will not detect that anything's wrong, and your body will run as normal. You will not shut down, and the Humanofort you run all the time,
All
whether
the
you're
time.
all the time. And while taking the Humanofort, your hypothalamus and testicles and everything will regenerate, and your adrenal cortex from the damage you did from taking too much testosterone. And the doctors that are giving guys 300 milligrams a week of testosterone are just hurting them because after 8 weeks, their body shuts down and counteracts it, and their levels are normal. Then they just throw them on aromatase inhibitors. We can get your levels higher on a small daily dose than these guys are on these large doses of testosterone. It's not about how much you take, it's about what your levels are.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Humanofort is integral. There's guys that come off completely, take 4 to 6 Humanofort a day and keep their gains. They'll just lose the water, weight, whatever. And then when they go back on, the muscle, wham, there it is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not here to preach, don't use Timberland. It's up to each person. I would
I would say myself personally, don't use
use
trenbolone.
myself, and I never
It'll
did.
it'll kill you.
However, whatever you are a pro guy, you're competing in an Olympia, you're Mr. Olympia, you must follow these 8 weeks on very low dose Humanofort and 8 weeks blast, but no more than 8 weeks. You have to go back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
And even when you're blasting, you take the Humanofort and extra, when you so large amount of anabolics and other drugs, I suggest even higher dose Humanofort during the very high blasting.
Mhm.
Now, so this may not gonna like TRT clinics, because some of the guys they calling me, they said, what the TRT clinic said that 70 milligram a week is a joke. Well, if it's a joke because clinics they make money selling you
Yeah.
testosterone other drugs on real high
Yeah.
uh,
The,
price.
the estrogen inhibitors, all these other things, then your blood starts getting too thick. They put you on the blood thinners. They're selling you all these drugs. The thing is, with our TRT protocol, they're not making any money. That's the problem because a bottle will last you 3, 4 months. So it's and the thing is, your levels will be higher and your body will not shut down, and you can still produce small amounts of your own testosterone, and
Yeah,
everything will be fine. And
yeah,
and Humanifort's something, the younger you start taking it, the younger you're going to look the rest of your life. As
yeah.
soon as the sooner you can start taking it, the better. Problem is, a
Yeah,
lot of people don't start taking it till they get older. It helps, it reverses everything, and they see some wrinkles decrease, their health issues go away. They don't have to take their arthritis medications anymore. They don't have to take metformin anymore. They don't have all these different things. But the sooner we can start taking Humanofort, the better. And I recommend everybody at least take the regular, just one in the morning, one at night, forever. But the
yeah,
people that are wanting to put on muscle, two in the morning, two at night, up to six a day at the most. Six a day is what I've seen. But the guys that are, I have many a guys. Johan was one of them. Six a day. You couldn't believe the game. The amount of training he could do. And I believe he
yeah,
would do a
yeah,
podcast with us too.
yeah, yeah. So we don't want to spend 1 hour each time, but we have to
Yeah.
repeat this because it's so much to learn on these peptides, growth factors, and I know I'm not going to mention names. One of the well-known trainer and very uh, good pro competitor, qualified many times in Olympia. First time I told him about this was at Chicago College, was a bodybuilding contest in 1997 or 8. In the
Okay.
parking lot, I was thinking about this, and I'm not going to mention name, but he misunderstood me because uh, when the Humanofort was introduced in 1984, Bruxelles at a new oral administration of stem cells, because the Humanofort
Mhm.
also forgot to mention that has pluripotent stem cells.
Yep.
Uh, they were talking about that it's a fat catabolic. So that trainer misunderstood me. He thought that I'm saying muscle catabolic. No, it's
No.
fat catabolic. Now, back then, they were not able to re-explain how come you take Humanofort, you get a fat catabolic stage. So now we
Mhm.
know because it contains 5-growth factor 21,
21.
which
Yep.
when you starve yourself, you do the fasting. What does your liver overproduce IGF? Sorry, 5-growth factor 21, which it's mobilized the fat for energy.
Yeah.
Now
And
it's all fat,
autophagy.
yeah, but also keeps you anabolic because it has all the growth
Mhm.
factors. For example, growth factor 5-growth factor 6 is very important to muscle
Yep.
cell regeneration and muscle growth. Now, fasting was really good, and that's a new fasting is the biggest uh, hot topic in the world. And people they go 24 hours, they go 48 hours, which it's okay But let me tell you something. If you muscle bodybuilding, you want to, and you train daily, I'm telling you,
You got to at least
you
eat
go
protein.
48 hours you're not eating, you want to go do regular. I'm just mentioning the toughest body part to train is legs. Go ahead
Mhm.
after 48 hours fasting and go ahead and try to do your full leg exercise. It's no way. Also, by incorporating Humanofort, now you don't need to do fasting more than normal. Fasting should be 12 hours. That's normal. That
Yep.
fasting 12 hours was even used by back on H-Stone, when people,
Yep.
they were not eating middle of the night. They ate evening and in the morning they went hunting again. So 12 hours fasting is fine. Or you're fasting, but you're not exercising serious, you're not lifting weights, and you don't want to end up in a muscle and fat catabolic stage. You want to keep just fat catabolic, which you can achieve with lower calories
Mhm.
and the Humanofort, because that supplies you the fibers fat 21. So you're not putting your body in such a starvation mode where you want to be also
Well, that's
catabolize muscle. Now, another good suggestion, if you do those fasting, take the Humanofort and branching amino acid together, that you can fast longer
yeah.
than 12 hours.
The essential amino acids. Yeah, you can
Yes,
take them slow in small doses all day long, and
yes,
it won't break the fast. But uh, we have to cut this off in a few minutes. But yes,
sure.
you get the benefits of fasting by just taking Humanofort because of the FGF21 in it. So your
Yes,
body will go into autophagy, break down dead cells and replace them, and it will help burn fat. Now,
yes,
if you're eating donuts and ice cream, that's not what we're talking about. If you're watching what
yeah,
you eat and you take Humanofort, it will help you with the fat burning and it will preserve muscle.
yeah,
But fasting 12 hours a day, taking 4 Humanofort a day, and just eating mostly protein, you're going to get really lean and you can even build some muscle as long as you're eating enough protein. And just a little bit of carbs before your workout is just fine.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think Emeric, next time one thing to talk about is the fact that Humanofort has the building blocks we need for making stem cells, and the fact that it gives us the ability to create whatever stem cells our body needs. Do you think we should touch more
I
on
would
that?
add to that. I would add to that that it contains embryonic stem cells.
Yes, it
You know,
does
I'm
have
gonna post,
embryonic stem cells, which can our body can
I'm gonna
turn
post,
into whatever we want.
I'm gonna post, I'm gonna post on the Facebook on my side and your side. I'm gonna post the X-ray on a kitten was born with the genetic disorder, had no ligaments, tendons, and no retina. And I'm gonna
Mhm.
put up the X-ray before and then after. And the kitten developed, finished all
Outside of
the
the womb.
ligaments, tendons, and that would not happen only have the growth factors. You need
Yeah,
the embryonic stem cells
stem
and
cells. Yeah,
young stem cells, adult stem cells, which are used in the stem cell therapy. They're not embryonic stem
right.
cells. So only embryonic stem cell can go and
From the
regenerate or
umbilical
repair.
cord. Yeah,
The umbilical cord stem cells, they more beneficial than adult stem cells, but it still
yeah.
cannot compete with embryonic stem cells because the
And this
umbilical
is a
cord would
great
not
thing
exist.
because my daughter, for example, was born premature and her lungs weren't fully developed, and that's been a problem her whole life. If I had known that, I could have given her Humanofort when she was an infant, and her lungs could have
Yeah,
developed normally. So,
yeah.
um,
I just want one more thing add for those people. Uh, I've been trying to help people with sickle cell disorder. I have
yeah.
few children in Uganda, and I also Robin Robinson. And
Mhm.
the good news, finally, I find a doctor who will start doing a study with people suffering with
Is
with sickle
this
cell.
is
I got good
Serrano?
news
Is
on
it
that too.
Serrano?
No,
Is it
it's not
Dr.?
Serrano.
It's not Serrano. Okay.
No,
But
this
at
doctor
least we
is
have, so
yeah,
we
it's
are
what
going to have
I
proof. We're going to have proof that Humanofort cures sickle cell anemia.
I'm not saying cure sickle cell. I never mentioned cure, but whatever reason,
Help with,
the sickle,
help
the
with.
sickle cell shape of see the sickle cell, the red blood cell, it's not round. It's like a sickle and cut and
Yeah,
can travel and carry oxygen. So it looks like the Humanofort helped to restore the shape of the blood cells, sickle cell round. So
yep.
I'm not saying it's cure. I don't,
We
I'm
don't
not
want
going
to
to
use
make
the
any
word cure, but
anything,
we
yeah,
know what
anything,
we
but it
know.
helps support, has and support your body with whatever you need to repair.
Yeah,
Okay, so Mike, let's keep it the time short like this, and let's do
yeah,
this a couple times because, like I said, we cannot
yeah.
uh,
We
educate
can
everybody
we can
in half
constantly
hour.
find subjects to talk about. And so let's talk between you and I through the next coming couple weeks. We'll write down a couple topics we want to talk about, and we'll just really talk about those. And then once we've posted these and have them on YouTube and Facebook, we'll have them to refer people to when they have questions. We can post a link right for it, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and anybody can contact either you or me privately, and we're not gonna leak your name, because I know everybody has a trainer. I have almost daily people approaching me. My trainer put me on this, my trainer put me on. I said, I'm not getting what your trainer put on.
mm,
If you want my help, I help you how to stay healthy.
yeah,
I give you that period of time, what you do, and then what you have your other coach, how much drug use is up to you. I can tell you how I would do it.
well,
If you want to try it, try it. If not, it's up to you.
Em- Emeric helped me, and in return, I've helped dozens of other guys, and I've helped guys put on 30, 40 pounds of muscle on safe TRT doses in Humanofort. And I'm telling you, we can do it, guys. Bodybuilding can be a very safe, very fun thing. And there's no reason we have to have all this retarded issues going on with it. And
Also, I know
Humanofort's definitely one of the keys.
a couple of TRT doctors watching one of the podcasts. I just want to message. I did message some TRT doctors privately. Let's talk about the testosterone and how becomes partial active. So it's nothing. Your testosterone receptor is loaded. You have to descend. You have to deplete it. It's not such thing. More testosterone injecting, more receptors you're creating, and doesn't work because it becomes partial agonist, which is or partial active. Let's focus
Yep.
on that, and then I will talk privately with these doctors,
Yep.
and then I know some people said that with the studies.
And
However,
for the,
I will come up with the theory behind these growth factors and published what they do.
yeah,
Then, if I'm wrong, they have to prove me I'm wrong because I can prove them it's not such thing.
right.
Then the receptors are saturated. It's
We can't get
impossible.
in trouble for telling the truth. We're telling the truth, you know?
Yes.
So, and
Okay, Mike.
it, all right, buddy. Um,
You look good. You look good.
Thank
You don't
you.
look like you just
Look
came
good.
out from the
I feel
hospital.
I feel a lot better. When I got out of the hospital, I was 190 pounds. Now I'm about 210 pounds. So, uh, if I put on a good 10 pounds of muscle, I'll be back to my old self. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to be, is like a really lean, respectable 220. That's kind of
Yeah.
where you want to be for being healthy. We, you know, if we, it'd be different if we're going to do a show, we get up to like 240 or something, but after the show, lighten up a little bit. It's healthier. We can always put the muscle back on. Once we put the
Yeah.
muscle on, it'll come back on quick. So, all right,
Yeah.
brother. And so we'll
Okay.
stop recording here, and we'll converse through the weeks and come up with our next video. So everybody
Also,
stay
people,
tuned out there. Huh?
okay, people, you can text privately to Mike or me any questions
Mhm.
for the next podcast, and we'll answer your questions.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, message us and we'll start writing them down and answering them for you. Okay. So, and get a hold of me if you want to get Humanofort. We have humanofortusa.com as the official distributor for the United States. And from there, I wish everybody the best and have a good night. Sound good?
Okay.
All
Good
right,
night.
brother. Talk to you.
Bye bye.